Okay. Is there any problem anymore, Professor? Do you need some help?
But you don't see my face.
I can see your presentation. It's doing all right.
The problem is that
Yeah.
on the screen,
Sorry, pardon. I think you can click on the right button, the one beside the Zoom bar, to present your slide.
screen is hidden by the Zoom.
It is hidden.
I cannot.
Maybe you can right click the slides, and then it's usually there's a unhide menu when you right click the slide. Maybe you can try it.
Do you see the full screen?
What screen? I can see the Grand Seminar Muslim Hackfest. I can see the Bismillahirrahmanirrahim, and then yeah. Resume. You can click the resume?
From the beginning,
Okay.
I'm unable to. Okay.
Yeah.
Is it
Yes.
full screen?
Beautiful. Cool.
Okay.
Okay, I can see the presentation.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين. الصلاة والسلام على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. Praise be to Allah, Lord of the world, and peace and blessing be upon Muhammad and his family and companions. My lecture will contain an introduction, early work on ICT and Islam, ICT and Quran, Midad al-Bayan, 2009 Al-Madinah Conference, 2013 Noor Center Conference, Iman Conferences, Ijazat Periodicals, examples of research papers, recommendations for future work. The role of collaboration on research and development for Islamic ICT projects. وتعاونوا على البر والتقوى ولا تعاونوا على الإثم والعدوان. سورة المائدة. Help one another in virtue, righteousness, and piety and do not help one another in sin and transgression. Why there is necessity to join effort to serve ICT and Islam? Common purposes of Muslims, unity of Muslim Ummah, joining efforts in development, serving Islam and Muslims, defending Islam together, da'wah for Islam, research cooperation, organizational efforts, cooperation between ICT specialists and Muslim scholars is needed. Duties on ICT specialists towards Islam. Learn more about Islamic teaching, behave in the profession as good Muslims, help the Muslim scholars in serving Islam through ICT. Duties on Muslim religious scholars, educating themselves in ICT, use of modern technological aid in their teaching, directing their research towards hot topics serving Islam, directing their students towards intensive use of ICT and internet resources. Organizational duties, supporting ICT products serving Islam, commitment to moral and financial support of research in ICT and Islam, support for interaction between researchers in different Muslim countries. Earlier work on ICT and Islam. Introduction of Arabic and other non-Latin based characters, cartridge and floppy disk-based software in the 80s, CD-based software in the 90s, books of tafsir, for example, Ibn Kathir, Qurtubi, Jalalain. These were introduced on the internet, on the disk, on CD in the 90s. Then started the internet era. I'm going to show an experiment I did on Google in 2004, and then the same 2020. Al-Quran on the internet, I found 419,000 sites, while in 2020 it was 253 million. Rate of increase was 604 times. Quran in English with the K, 170. Quran with Q, 181. Sunnah, 132. Sunnah, 142. While Bible, there was only 12-fold rate of increase. This shows how much increase the Islamic sites on the internet. There are a lot of sites on Quran. Quran text started the Uthmani font for search, books of tafsir, science of Quran, audio library, qira'at of Quran, teaching of recitation and memorization, broadcasting stations, books and periodicals about Quran, subjects of Quran, Quranic societies, scientific miracles of Quran, non-Arabic sites and translation. Special notation for stopping during recitation, additional characters to Arabic, These all were in service of Quranic texts. Tashkil of Quran, that means the signs above and below the Arabic characters, different writing of styles, different shapes for some of the characters. There are some problems related to Quranic text, search problems, shape of problems, tashkil problems, ontology problems, root problems, prefix and suffix. For example, فَأَسْقَيْنَاكُمُوهُ, this word from Quran, it can be translated as and after that we gave you as a plural, water to drink. So there are 10 words as translation to one Arabic word in Quran. There are also the semantic problems. Tafsir of Quran, the meaning of Quran, there are specialized sites. There are tens of books of tafsir, and there is a plain text search problem, multi-reference, problems of coordination, no cross-referencing, classification of Quran according to some of the madhab, or linguistic, fiqh, scientific. Science of Quran, reason behind revelation, statistics of Quran, word by word, grammar, topics, merits, rules deducted from Quran. Qira'at, this topic needs a lot of database, audio library. There are a lot of sites giving recording of Quran, different recitation. There is no speech analysis and synthesis. Purpose of recording not clear. Recording of tafsir and speeches is not there. Need for further research. Teaching of recitation and memorization. There are audiovisual aids, self-recording, self-training. Topics of Quran. Hyperlinks are needed. Classification of subjects is not properly done. Deficiency of keyword guided topics, special orientation, classification, grammar, scientific orientation, fiqh, hadith. What is the new? Large number of new sites are now available on internet. Some of old sites disappeared. Good emphasis on audio recording, many programs of research in Quran, many sites of tafsir, emphasis on scientific miracles, many new sites defending Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and so on. Then Arabic sites, there are a lot of inaccuracies of text. There are errors in translation, contradiction in translation sometimes, limited bilingual or multilingual sites, and there are a lot of languages serving Quran. I'm going to give this book, which is an overall look at terms and multi-words in Quran. This book I authored and published in 2002. Mu'jam of similar clauses in Quran. This is the site you can consult. It's not a dictionary of words of Quran, but of terms. For example, أَوَلَمْ يَرَوْا, this clause is shown in these surahs, Surah Al-Ra'd 41, Al-Nahl 48, and so on. This is another term, أَوَلَمْ يَرَوْا أَنَّ اللَّهَ الَّذِي خَلَقَ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ. This term can be seen in Al-Isra 99, Al-Ahqaf 33, and so on. This is the style of this book. The book contains 44,439 different terms. And these are the characteristics of this module. Why is this done? It is part of a project which is Midad al-Bayan to serve Quran as the center of Islamic sciences, Hadith, Fiqh, Quran science, fundamentals of Islam, Arabic language, Tafsir, Seerah of the Prophet, Qira'at. So serving Quran in a proper way can serve all these sciences of Islam. This is, although it's in Arabic, but it's a site mbayan.net. You can search for noun, verb, or clause, or so this is an example for the female words in Quran. There are 247 terms like ظلمات, صالحات, جنات, samawat, kalimat, and each one is given how many times it's seen in Quran. For example, al-Salihat 59 times, and these are the 59. For example, this one in Surah Al-Baqarah, verse 82, وَبَشِّرِ الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ. This is another effort from University of Leeds to serve Quran by showing the wording of Quran and its grammar. This is a list of words of Quran, and this is ontology of Quran. For example, Al-Asnam, Al-Uzza, Al-Lat, Ba'al, Manat, all these are idols. There are categories and subcategories of words of Quran. For example, the Holy Book may be Quran, Injil, Tawrat, Zabur, and so on. This is an example of some publications. This paper has shown list of information technology usage in Islamic perspective, a literature review. This chart shows number of publications of papers related to ICT and Islam. As you can see, in the 1990s of the last century, there were only very few papers, and started in 2007, some papers started to be published, and it's increasing. In 2009, there was a conference in Al-Madinah. These are papers a lot of papers in Arabic, but I'm only going to show two papers in English. Development of standard prototype for Quran citation, Tajweed learning objects for effective use on e-learning platform. This is another one. Information and communication technologies in learning, teaching, and spreading of the glorious Quran. In 2013, there was a conference in Taipei University in Al Medina, advances in information technology for Holy Quran and Sciences, NORSIC. This conference, I was a keynote speaker. This is a list of papers which has been presented in that. These are papers in Arabic. Yes, this paper shows the internet sites which are against Islam in the French language. This is, yes. In 2013, a book was published, ICT and Islam, by Professor Muhammad Fawzan Nuruddin, who is a professor in Islamic University in Malaysia. In 2013, we started Iman conferences, International Conference on Islamic Applications in Computer Science and Technologies, Iman. It's organized by this establishment. It was, the first conference was held in Malaysia, in Kuala Lumpur, the International University of Al Medina. The theme of the conference contains a lot of topics: Muslim contributions in computer science applications and technologies, IT in service of Holy Quran and its sciences, IT in service of Hadith and the Sunnah, IT in the development of Islamic society, IT in the service of Islamic fiqh and sciences, IT in the service of Islamic history and civilization, IT in the service of Islamic knowledge and the role of Muslim scholars, IT ethics from Islamic point of view, Islamic databases, evaluation of Islamic software, computer applications in service of Arabic language and machine translation, natural language processing of Arabic language, IT in the service of objectives of Islamic law, maqasid sharia, protecting of faith, life, progeny, intellect, and wealth. IT in the service of environment, IT in the service of humanity. We have a lot of advisors from all over the world. I am the general chair of this conference. This conference was held in 2013 in Kuala Lumpur, as I said. 1st to 2nd July 2013. We have keynote speakers. The second conference was held in Amman 2014, and we have keynote speakers also. The third conference was held in Konya, Turkey, in October 2015. We have also keynote speakers. Iman 2016 was held online, December 2016. In 2017, conference was held in Indonesia, 26 to 28 December, in Semarang. We have a keynote speaker from Institute of Technology Bandung, Indonesia. Lot of participants from many countries. This is a picture of participants in that conference. In 2018, conference was held in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. Iman 2019 was held online. We have few keynote speakers. Iman 2020 was held also online, 26 to 27 December last month. We have keynote speakers from Malaysia, from US, from Malaysia as well, from Amman. Now, we have two journals, International Journal on Islamic Application in Computer Science and Technology, إجازات, and the Arabic version, المجلة الدولية للتطبيقات الإسلامية في علم الحاسب والتقنية، مجلة إجازات. I'm going to go into details of some papers. This is last issue of the journal. This is the first paper in the issue. It's related to first aid app for pilgrims. So this is a paper showing a software to be used on the mobile to help those who are doing the Hajj. This is another paper, comparative study of opinion mining and sentiment analysis. This is the last issue of the Arabic version of the Ijazat. Now this is a paper related to the hadith of the Prophet, peace be upon him. Every Arabic paper shows translation of the summary. So this is the summary towards an automatic verification of hadith transmission chain continuity. Of course, the English version of the journal also contains Arabic translation of the summary. This is another paper related to application for Quranic teaching for children who are handicapped, designing an application to teach the Holy Quran to deaf children using alphabetical sign language. This is a list of the papers, the Arabic papers, and the translation of the title of the papers in the previous issues. Now, the periodical is published 4 times a year. So till now, we have 32 issues. As you can see, the countries from which the authors are from Jordan, Malaysia, Egypt, Libya, and so on. English journal, these are the papers issued from 2013, issue 1, 2014, 2015, I'm going to show selected Ijazat papers, concept extraction on Quranic translation text, building hadith ontology to support the authenticity of isnad, M-Faqih modeling mobile learning game to recite Quran for deaf children. Intelligent search engine for the Holy Quran. Knowledge management system for the Islamic banking sector in Malaysia. Intelligent tool for Mufti assistance. Extended topical classification of Hadith Arabic texts. Ontological approach for semantic modeling and querying of the Quran. Requirements model for Hajj and Umrah mobile healthcare system. A proposed framework of an intelligent Arabic chatbot for teaching Islamic history. A user-centered design-based collaborative system for Jum'ah preacher scheduling. I think this paper is from Indonesia. Ontology-based similarity for case-based reasoning in Islamic banking. Users' perception of the cryptocurrency system application from the Islamic views. Smart home apps designed for users with physical disabilities. QData, a data set for reciting the Quran. This is the list of papers. Now, we collected a lot of papers about Quran, research papers on computation of Holy Quran. This is a book under print for the papers published in Ijazat in Arabic. This is the contents of this artificial intelligence in serving Holy Quran. Some of the contents of this is a page from Quran. You can see the beauty of the wording of Quran. بما أنزل وما أنزل أولئك أنذرتهم تنذرهم على. This is a chart of number of words in Surah As-Saffat. As you can see, one verse contains more than 25 words, while the rest are less than 10. This is also Surah Al-Muddathir. So there are a lot of things which we can find from Quran using artificial intelligence. This is another paper, Modern Techniques and their role in serving the glorious Quran, methodological and technical vision of comprehensive Quranic encyclopedia. Use of modern technology in serving Quran and its sciences, present status and hope. Employing technology in Quran science, rhetoric case study. Logical inference in Holy Quran. applying multi-level document clustering to Quran text. This is some of the pages of this paper. Bidad al-Bayan as a core for electronic system for religious science. This is the system which I showed earlier in Arabic, and the example for using it. This is an example for Surah Al-Fatiha, the word Alhamd. It can be shown as the Alhamd in Quran, in Hadith, in Fiqh, in language, and other terms related to Hamd, types of Hamd, Alhamd in Salah. Sorry. Another paper towards a project interactive program for automatic memorizing the Holy Quran. Designing an electronic book using a mobile phone to the Open University of Sudan, taking Quran science syllabus as a model. Suggested solutions to the problem of reading Mus'haf al-Tajweed, color-coded Quran for color-blind people, a case study. Holy Quran speech recognition system, Hudud Tajweed case study. Information technology in serving the Quran's manuscript in Morocco. The names
Professor
of
Khedr,
prophets.
sorry,
Sorry.
I think you did not share the content of the Quran competition, but I think you should share the screen all, not the presentation only, because we cannot see the hyperlink from your presentation.
Sorry.
Yeah. I think you should share all screen, not only the presentation. Maybe you can push the escape button. And then you can share to us the share all screen.
Do you see the chart now?
Yes.
Yeah, this is a chart.
Okay, thank you.
Showing number of authors in papers published in Ijazat. As you can see, papers with 2 authors is the maximum in this chart. 3 papers, 3 authors, 4 authors, which means that collaboration in publishing is very, very good characteristic of the papers published. And we encourage collaboration in authoring so that the authors would help each other and communicate with each other. This chart shows the authors per country. As you can see, most of our papers are from Malaysia. This is only for the English papers. Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, some from UK and other countries, Algeria, Canada, Egypt, Emirates, France, Indonesia, Iraq, Jordan, Kuwait, Morocco, Pakistan, Palestine, Sudan, Tunisia, UK, and US. Most frequent topics of the papers. Most of the papers are related to Quran, to Arabic language, to Hadith, ontology, recitation of Quran, authentication of Hadith, related to children, education, Hajj, Isnad, which is also related to Hadith, retrieval, teaching, and translation. I'm going to go to the conclusion. Research and development collaboration on Islamic IT projects. ICT research in serving Islam, a practical research aiming for equipment serving Muslims and Islam. We need research related to inventing or experimenting equipment which serves Muslims. Software on mobile in service of Islam and Muslims. Software on serving Muslim nation. Software in serving Quran and Hadith ontology is required. Other services under Iman and Ijazat interest, which I showed at the beginning of this lecture. Now, research with the aid of online facilities is now encouraged. Search of possible financing is if needed. Discussion. Search of core researchers. Now you can find fellows to cooperate with you in research from different parts of the world. Discussion of practical and theoretical procedures with co-researchers, exchange of programs and data, follow-up and testing, discussion of results, exchange of draft and final writing, implementing and trading final products. We encourage you to submit your papers for next conference, inshallah, Iman 2021. And as well, you are welcome to submit your papers to Ijazat. Online consultation with experts, online research cooperation, practical experiments, results evaluation. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thank you.
Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you, Professor Khedr, for the amazing presentation. Such a great insights for all of us. We gain new insights that it is part of our responsibility to spread the knowledge of Islam, and it's also very fascinating to know that the Quran, the searching of Quran in search engine in Google is increasing throughout the years. And actually, we still need to improve more. Looking to the Bible searching, it's quite major, and it's more than the Quran searching itself. So I would like to give thank you also for our sponsor, Huma, Amal, Salman, and Kaf, and I will choose a question that has come to my chat box. So the first question comes from do you want to ask your question personally to Professor Khedr, or do you want me to read it? Hi, Brian. The Khedr, a question from Brian is, how far artificial intelligence can predict false Quran and false Quran, Holy Quran and Sunnah translation in online world? Yeah, Quran.
Your voice is not very clear.
Breaking. So,
can you repeat?
Test 1, 2, 3. Can you hear me?
Can you repeat your?
Okay.
Voice is not clear.
Okay. Hello.
Yes.
Hello.
Yes. Okay.
Actually, my connection is just good. Okay. Can you hear me now? Okay. So the question the question comes from Brian is the hoax. Yeah, the hoax about Quran and Sunnah in online world. Okay. Get it? Hello? Is it? Can you hear me?
Yes. Yes, I'm hearing you, but
okay.
I didn't understand the question. It's interrupted.
Okay. Okay, I'm going to repeat. Question is, how far artificial intelligence can predict the false Quran and Sunnah in online world? Yeah. Is it clear enough?
Yes.
Maybe you can repeat my question, Professor Khedr. Okay.
Yeah, there are efforts writing software which find out the exact wording of text, whether it is true or exact Quran or whether it is falsy. But but till now, such software is not. Now there is echo in my still work on such software is needed because there is no very good software which serve for authentication of Quranic text. Because of the type of writing, for example, you can write words in Quran without signs, and the text may be wrong. So such efforts still need research to make full software for authentication of text of Quran so that you can distinguish between the true text or the falsity. Is that clear?
Clear. So it still needs a lot of improvement, and maybe can you give us a little sneak peek how far hello, Professor,
Hello, yes.
can you hear me?
Yes, please, go on.
Yes. So I can conclude from your answer that hello, yeah.
There is a delay in the sound. Can you repeat your question once again?
Hello. Wait. Unstable.
Sorry. Can you repeat your question? Do you?
Hello. Can everyone hear me now? Is it?
Yes.
Okay. So I think I'm moving on to the next question. Professor Khedr. The next question comes from Iftitahul, if I'm not wrong. Iftitahul, do you?
Hello, Prof. You can
Yes, please.
see my screen. Yeah. So I will read the question from Iftitakul. Assalamualaikum, Professor. Is any research in robust speech recognition system to correction?
There is research, but very little. It needs collaboration, and it would be useful to do such research in the future.
Hello? Hello, can anyone hear me now?
Yes, yes.
Yes. S, 1, 2, 3. Yeah. Can you hear me now? Is it clear?
Yes, I can.
Okay, so yeah, the question for Iftitahul has been read out and has been answered by Professor Khedr. So I'm moving on to question from Faza. So dear Professor Khedr, is there any open source data regarding the Quran and Hadith? So it's like maybe it's like the Google Drive that we can access everywhere and anytime to Quran and Hadith. For maybe for example, if we want to know Quran regarding the salat maybe, and then we can access that open source data and we can look for that information. Is there any kind of open source data like that? That's the
Yeah,
question.
actually, ontology of Quran needs a lot of research in the future because it's not enough to consult wording of Quran as it appears in the Quran. We have to go into deep meaning, and deep meaning, even for the same word in one location in Quran, may not be the same as the meaning in another place in Quran. So the going deep into the ontology of every word and term of Quran needs a lot of research and service of Quran. So really the research in ontology is very much required.
Good. So Faza, are you happy enough with the answer? Do you want to ask Professor Khedr one question? Faza. So maybe I can anyone hear me? Okay, so anyone can still hear me, right?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, okay, thank you. So the second question from Faza is, what do you think of young Islamic scientists and any advice for them? Professor Khedr.
You mean science of Islam, science of Quran?
Yes. What do you think of young Islamic scientists? Young Islamic scientists. Is there any? What do you think of them? Are they strong? Are they strong enough right now? Are they need a lot of improvements? Any thoughts? Any advice for them?
I said, as I said, young Muslim researchers need a lot of work in their own specialization. For example, those who are in electronic specialization need to work on devices helping Muslims. Those who are interested in speech synthesis or speech recognition or speech studies need to go deep into the into this field. Those who are specialized in Islamic literature and Islamic science need to go deep into the meaning and the ontology of Quran. So there are a lot of different topics related to Islam which can be served by Muslim scientists. I encourage group working so that you can look at the same problem from different angles. And at the same time, you can join effort from many countries. So we need a lot of collaboration and showing your work in conferences so that others may continue, may modify, may add, may help, so that the new scientists would benefit and as well give their knowledge to others. So really, I encourage research starting from the students in the universities so that they would present their projects under the supervision of their supervisors, so that when they graduate, they may continue and elaborate on such work for more useful products. Islam is very much needing the effort of young scientists and their corporation and their publications.
Okay, that's all, Professor Khedr. Enough. So what a great answer and what a great advice for you all, to the young Islamic scientists. If I can repeat, so you can start your research as early as possible, starting in the university lives, so you can get guidance from your lecturer. You can also be focused on your specializations. For example, if you want to specialize on the ontology of Quran, then you need to focus on that. And then you will need a collaboration for many people, so you can get much and more perspective from different angle, and you can also cooperate to solve problems that we have. And then you have to be stand out, so you can participate on the conference, you can be stand out, you can share your knowledge to all the ummah. So that's a beautiful advice from Professor Khedr. So for the last question from Hisbah, anyway, we can still accept any question. So if you have any question, please do not hesitate, submit it on the chat box. You can send it directly to me. So the last question is from Hisbah. Are you here, Hisbah? Do you want to ask Professor Khedr personally, or do you want me to read it? Hisbah, are you there? Maybe I can count to 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so dear Professor Khedr, the question from Hisbah is, how artificial intelligence can develop a learning machine that help us to take any tafsir Quran for Islamic civilization thoughts? Yeah, that's the question.
Yes, artificial intelligence is a new field, and going into deep use of artificial intelligence in service of Islamic literature, not only Quran, Hadith, and fiqh, and other fields of Islamic science can be served by machine learning. Now, the problem of machine learning, it needs a lot of data, and data which are served in ontology. So really, ontology is very much research in ontology is very much needed, and I think the Quranic texts and the other field of Islamic literature are mostly served in Arabic. So cooperation between those who are speaking Arabic and those who are not their native language Arabic need cooperation so that the research can be served properly. So really, collection of big data related to Islamic science is needed in different languages. Now, for example, literature about Islam in languages other than Arabic need to be connected to Arabic resources. Now, one field which is really need lot of research, it's the machine translation between languages spoken by Muslims. Now, for example, at the moment when you want to use Google Translate from Malaysian or Indonesian language to Arabic, the software translates to English and then to the other language. So English is made as a tool for translation. Now, this is not the proper way for translation between Indonesian language and Arabic language. The languages spoken by Muslims need to have bilingual direct translation. Now, till now, machine translation is deficient. It's not proper. You can check translation using Google Translate or other engines. You will find that the translation is inaccurate. A lot of research need to serve the languages spoken by Muslims, for example, Arabic, Persian, Kurdish, Urdu, Bengali, Jawi, Indonesian language, and so on, so that direct translation is made more accurate. Now, when such software is available, then collaboration between researchers and other fields can be made between Muslims properly. Of course, what I mean by machine translation is not only text translation, but direct speech translation. Translation between languages, European languages, is very much advanced, while the machine translation between languages spoken by Muslims is still needing a lot of research. Of course, this needs collaboration between ICT people and the specialized linguistic specialized people. I think this will serve the Ummah very much and need a lot of work. If this is advanced, then other fields would go forward and collaboration would be easier between Muslims who are speaking different languages. Okay?
Okay. Okay, I think that's clear enough. I think it's clear enough for his bus also, yeah. So if I can repeat the answer, so it's really complicated to see all the behind the scene work of the artificial intelligence and the Quran itself, and it really supports the one of the verse in the Quran that God has created us differently in so many languages and so many skin colors, so we can know each other. So I think artificial intelligence will support us for that kind of activity. So I also have a question for you, Professor Khedr. So you have so many scientific research papers, around 40, if I'm not mistaken. I get this information from Google. So I would like to know, what do you think is your biggest achievement from all your scientific research, and why is it your biggest achievement? Hello.
Sorry,
Sorry.
I didn't catch your last wording.
Oh, so yeah, between all of your scientific research papers, which one is the most? Which one is your biggest achievement for you, and why?
Well, my work on Quran
Mm-hmm.
was emphasizing first on database of Quranic words.
Mm.
For example, I didn't have the word as one word, but I divided the word into their prefix and suffix.
Mm.
For example, فَأَسْقَيْنَاكُمُوهُ. Fa means and.
Mm-hmm.
Asqayna means we give you for drink. Kum, you. So each part of the word is given the full grammatic status.
Mm.
Now this serves as a first step in going into the meaning. Now I emphasize on the meaning because this is the aim of the Quran.
Mm.
We should not only emphasize on the recitation,
Yes.
but also go into deep meaning, so that to benefit from Quran. The second step which I did was on terms, not only words, which I showed in my lecture, the dictionary which I did for multi-wording of Quran. Now, multi-wording of Quran will serve the tafsir, the whole meaning, because when you collect few words, you will get or you understand the meaning better than each word as a stand alone. So the research on multi-word Quran dictionary was the second step. Now, then I started with the subjects of Quran. For example, one verse of Quran may contain few different topics.
Mm.
So giving the dictionary for topics is another step, and so on. So serving Quran is unlimited, and connecting the Quran with meaning and with other resources Now, for example, the figure I gave in this lecture about hamd, praise of Allah. Now, praise of Allah can be found in Quran, in Hadith, in fiqh, in different application of Salah or Hajj and so on. So really, when you look at the whole Islamic science, it's connected together through the Quran. So the Quran is the center for serving all different sciences of Quran. Unfortunately, this project needs a lot of effort and resources. Till now, I couldn't find enough support for doing the research to the end. I only try to publicize the ideas and ask for support, and as well researchers doing part of such research, so that in the future, inshallah, it will be complete in a comprehensive way. Some of the, actually, all the publications which I did was published in Arabic, but with summaries and translation of some of the papers you can find in my site in Arabic. I will write the sites which I refer to, so that you can
Do you want to us to show to us?
yeah, these two sites, you may almishkat.com/Khedr, bayan.net. This is the second one. So all my books are in my site. I have more than 30 books in software and 25 published, also with the text on this site.
Okay. Okay, very fantastic. I totally agree with Professor Khedr. I also experienced that kind of thing. So I think also the meaning of Quran is so much more than just the recitation. It also used to happen to me when my parents used to read Quran. I only read the Quran and only arrange the words without knowing any the meaning. So, but after I know the meaning of the Quran, it really suit my heart. It really gives me a new perspective way of life. So yeah, I totally agree with what the Professor Khedr has elaborated to us. So the last question from Faiz Gifari. Faiz, want to open your mic, please?
Oh yeah.
Thank you.
Ask
Good.
questions? All right.
Yes.
Thank you, Prof, for your great explanations. My question is, currently I'm working on text mining and some kind of artificial intelligence related to that. And I'm doing some my thesis for my bachelor degree about Quran search. So basically, it's relating some text into the Quran verse, but yeah, as you mentioned above, my problem is that we cannot use the raw translations from the Quran because the Arabic words it's contain more deeper meaning from its only translation. So it's kind of different than that. So my question is, as a non-speaking Arabic Muslims, is it important to us to learn the Arabic language? Because I think it's fundamental concerns, especially for me, because I think there's so many things to dig into this Quran text or many Islamic literatures like Hadith or Tafsir, and in yeah, there's books of Islam that available translated to Indonesian, but yeah, sometimes it just doesn't feel as rich as the Arabic text itself. So I think that's my question. Thank you.
Yes. Well, I would say that if you want to go deep into the research related to Quran, you need to learn Arabic to some extent. I wouldn't suggest to go very deep into Arabic, but at least you need some certain level of knowledge in Arabic so that uh, you can go further in your research. However, my suggestion, which I hope it will be realized in the future, collaboration between researchers speaking Arabic and researchers whose mother tongue is not Arabic would uh, would be very beneficial in this term. If you collaborate with another researcher who speak Arabic, so that when your discussion will help each other, so that you would uh, you would solve the problems which are facing the uh, so that you overcome problems related to a deep knowledge of the language. So really, this is, I think, the proper way for solving such problem. Of course, my suggestion also uh, to go deep into machine language, machine translation between languages of Muslims. This is very much needed in the future. Uh, as related to knowledge of Arabic language, it would also, you know that more than 90% of literature, of Islamic literature, are in Arabic. So really, the one who want to search for knowledge and, for example, needs big data or deep learning and uh, working on resources, he would need to go into Arabic literature. So really, it's not possible to interact, for example, doing a question and answer research about Quran. It's not enough to do that on translation of Quran. You need to do it on Arabic text of Quran. So really, you need, I might, that means my simple answer would be you need some knowledge, but not necessarily very deep, depending upon how much deep is your research. Now, of course, if you are doing research on voice recognition or voice generation or something related to such research, then you can do that without deep language knowledge. But of course, you need the ontology as well for search engine and so on. So really, I encourage learning Arabic language for such researchers.
Okay, how about it, Faiz? Are you happy now? Do you want to maybe add more, or yeah, are you happy now? Because so I can conclude that learning Arabic would be very beneficial since 90% of the Islamic literature is in Arabic, but it's not necessarily. It really depends on your research. If you need the Arabic literature on your research, then you are really recommended to learn Arabic. I think that's what I can conclude from Professor Khedr. Is it enough for you, Faiz? Is it good?
Yeah, I
Oh,
think
goodness.
it's enough. Thank you, Prof.
Okay, thank you, Faiz. That's very fantastic. So, we're about to meet the end of the grand webinar event. But before I close the event, I would like Professor Khedr to give one or two sentences regarding the closing statement. Maybe you can also give additional information about how we can submit our paper in Iman, and yeah, any closing statement that you would like to present, please, Professor Khedr.
Okay, thank you very much. Actually, we usually publicize our next conference, which we usually do it in December.
Mm-hmm.
So you can prepare your papers, and when we announce the next conference dates, you can submit a few months earlier. Usually we publicize our conference in May, June every year, and you can apply for the you can submit your papers. Most probably with the COVID-19 problems, the next conference also will be online, and we encourage you to do your research in cooperation between different researchers. I have given on the chat my email. I would welcome any question or help which I can offer. You can give my email to the audience, and as well you can submit your papers directly to the journal. Now, actually, publication in the journal is free if you attend the conference, but the conference papers which are to be submitted to the journal need to be re-evaluated, and when it is ready, it's published in the journal, which are published 4 times a year, whether it's Arabic or English. And we encourage you to submit your papers to the conference so that it will be discussed and reviewed. And when it is ready, it would be published in the journal. Inshallah, there will be conferences with attendance in the future, and inshallah, some of the conferences will be in Indonesia in the future. So thank you for inviting me to this, and I encourage young researchers for doing further effort in service of Islam, and inshallah this will be reflected on the future of the Ummah. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So
Assalamu alaikum wa
fantastic.
rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, Professor Dr. Muhammad Zaki Khedr. Alhamdulillah. So finally, we meet to the ending of the grand webinar event. Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin. I would like also apologize and say sorry if there's any mistake from the committee, if there's any bad connection issue regarding this grand webinar event. The perfection is only on Allah's possession. So Alhamdulillah that we have finally finished this grand webinar event. Jazakumullah khairan khasiran to all of you, and wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I will give back the virtual stage back to the host. So please, Amal, thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Professor Khedr, for the great presentation. Alhamdulillah, we get many insights from the presentation. Hopefully, we can contribute also for the research and development in Islamic topics, and we can submit more paper also in Iman conference. And also, thank you for Ms. Dining Tias that have guided our session. So we meet the end of this session, but before we close this session, we will take picture together. Please open your camera, and if can, please use our virtual background also. Okay, I will wait a while. Please open your camera. Okay, during waiting your camera, please also provide us your feedbacks about this webinar, so in the future we can improve the events. And also you can get promotion code you can get a promotion code from ID Cloud Host, so you can get 50% discounts for hosting service in ID Cloud Host, and also 50% discount for financial coup after submitting the feedback form. Okay, so we will take the picture. I will count 3 times. 1, 2, 3. Okay, next slide. Smile. 1, 2, 3. Okay, the last slide. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Again, thank you very much, Professor Khedr. After submitting the feedback form, you can leave this meeting after I close this session. So I'm Amal. I'm sorry. We are sorry for our mistakes. Thank you for your attendance. See you in the next events. because after this session we will have the last event in the next week. That is a talk show studi kasus COVID-19. Bila taufiq wal hidayah, let's close our session by reciting hamdalah, alhamdulillahirabbil alamin, and doa kifaratul majlis. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika asyhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilaik. Alhamdulillah rabbik fala takunanna minal mumtarin. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you, Prof. Khedr. Bagi yang udah selesai ngisi feedback, silakan lihat meetingnya ya.